So this is your first day of school. Are you excited?
Yeah.
That's great.
Now you can see what's in the bag.
What have you got? Oreo, mini Oreos, so you won't go hungry. What else? Ooh, something to write with, crayons.
No, those are the things you got me. And
Oh, a little notebook.
that's the thing that you got me too.
Oh, great.
And this is the thing I want.
Oh, neat. Juice, huh?
And that's all.
Oh, great.
Hey, no!
If the students are walkers, they arrive anywhere between 8:30 and 8:45, and the buses also bring students. Usually the first bus is 8:30. Currently we have around 50 students. We have a kindergarten classroom, and then we have 2 combination classrooms, first and second grade. And the reason why they're combination is because the numbers are not very even. There are 26 first graders and only 12 second graders. And so we have 2 first and second grade classrooms. We used to have 6 classrooms. There was a 4th grade, 3rd grade, and a 2nd grade up on the top floor. And about 4 years ago, it was decided that because of the egress issue, not having 2 ways to exit the upstairs, that the classrooms would not be able to be used. One of the really positive aspects of a neighborhood school is seeing the children walk to school and being able to walk home. Even though they may be walking with an adult, it is great for them to be able to have that opportunity to leave their home and learn about crossing the sidewalk, and walking on the sidewalks and using the crosswalks, and walking to school and walking home. I think that's a wonderful aspect of a community school, is being able to have a school in your neighborhood.
Big circle around the flag.
The first day of school. Well, it's always an exciting time. We always start our first day of school around the flagpole, and we do introductions. The staff will introduce themselves, and we talk about some of the fun things that we're going to do for the year, and we talk about safety issues and things like that. That we do the nuts and bolts things as well. And then the students will line up to come inside. When the bell rings, they line up. And again, we have the students who were previous students at the school, so they know the routine, they know how to get into those lines, and the youngest look around, and they're watching, and so they follow right in, they'll line right up.
Go, Shadowfox!
Oh, did Mom say that you can't put it on because of that?
The students are greeted in the hallway. At least 2 or 3 teachers are standing in the hallway, always trying to make sure that each student has been greeted, so that they walk into the building, they've had that sense of belonging and being welcomed.
When I come in on the first day of school, it smells just like the Lumen Warren School in Bucksport, where I went to elementary school. And I just think this is the first day of school smell. I mean, every year it doesn't change. It's the same every first day of school. The small community, being able to touch base with almost every student every day. You have some opportunity to have a contact, whether it's a student in your class. You just make a contact with 50 children every day on some level. It's just going to go right over his nose and tie right behind. So something like that, very simple. And then you wouldn't even need face paint. You
When
wouldn't
I
have to worry about
think
putting
of
it on.
Carol McClure, who is the person I'm team teaching with, energetic, caring, very, very focused on student needs, intuitive, and she has a strong desire to always want to improve, always want to do what is needed to make sure that she meets all the needs of the students.
Great, friend. I'm going to take your picture out of the way, and you're going to wait patiently for directions. I always have said to my mom, teaching is more for me, and I know it is for her, and it's just such a love, and being able to wake up in the morning and get in your car and be excited to drive to work. You know, I imagine that there are people who don't love their professions the way that we've been fortunate enough to have found.
On this table. I know.
See this out of your way?
Yeah,
Do you remember what it is?
I know.
Yes.
I'm all done with my work.
Excellent.
Marcy is teaching the kindergarten classroom. She was a former multi-age teacher. She's very conscientious, fun, and really enjoys working with the students.
Now I want my name. Now I can
Excellent. Now, you need to go over your letters with crayons so they show up. Okay? Get your crayons from your cubby.
Smell me. Do I smell good? Can I have it? Wait, you have to ask.
Go wash your hands. Let me see you. You washed your hands already?
Yes, I
Go
just
wash your
did.
hands. I know, but you were just touching it again, so I want you to wash your hands again. Alex, rub that in.
What can I do if I can't put on sunscreen?
I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think you're going to be okay. But you know what? If I notice that you're getting a little red, I'll have you stand in the shade. That's what I told some of the other students. Because like Will has some on, but his might wear off, and he can't put any more on because his skin is sensitive to the sunscreen too.
My name is Jackie Curtis. I have been at Peirce School for 16 years. Well, for the last 2 years, I have been the teaching principal of this school.
Yeah, is it stinging right now? No, okay, keep your...
One of the things that has been terrific working in this building is that we are very close. I think the last person who joined us, probably that was maybe 9 or 10 years ago. So we've all been here between 9 to 16 years together, working together. And so that has really made a difference for us. We have a lot of benefits from having that closeness in the school. There are some drawbacks, however, because we haven't had a secretary for many, many years, and so the phones have to be answered in the classrooms. Once a week, for a couple of hours, we have a school nurse that will visit. So, whereas in a bigger location where the population is larger, more of those resources will be available.
I don't think so. I hope not. Not this time.
We have 2 teaching partners in our building currently. Roe Johnstone has been with us for quite a few years, I think 8 or 9 years.
Hi,
Chris. You know where you're getting off, right?
Cindy Herbig is the teaching partner who works a lot in the classroom here with me. And I would have to say she is our organizer. She's able to see exactly what needs to be done and takes the initiative to do it. She does a terrific job working with students. The students love her, and she's a great educator. We've had a lot of times when we've called what we call all school, or we're standing around the flagpole. Usually we tend to have this more on a Friday morning as a way of having the school community come together. We have shares after we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we talk about some of the events that might be coming up, or share some things that we've done in the past, for the past week. That's always been a favorite of the students, is to have that weekly flagpole gathering.
We are receiving little cedar trees back here, and we're also going to be getting first, second, and third place ribbons. So I'm going to start with the kindergarten class first. A beautiful picture, thank you so much. And you get a red ribbon for second prize. Did you get it? Right around here, sweet pea. Here's your tree and pencil. And this one we chose as first place winner for grade K, Zeanda Ryder. There you are. That's beautiful. Here's your ribbon. Pencil.
He reminds us every week to get our time cards done, and we always forget, and it's, Arthur, what are we going to do when we're at the new school and we don't have you to remind us? Well, maybe I'll leave you a memo, or I'll call you the night before, and just all these little things.
Blowing up the balls, huh?
Well, yeah, at least here I guess it's always been that way.
Are you going to miss this place?
I will. I mean, you know, it's been here a long time and everything, and I certainly enjoy the kids, but I guess you just reach a point in time.
Not having Arthur, he has just been such a jewel. I'm tearing just thinking about it, but he's just been so wonderful, and the kids just adore him, and he's there for the kids, and greets them every day, and to not have Arthur in the building anymore, that's going to be hard.
This morning did the same thing it did the other day. It's kind of falling apart. I don't know if while I'm gone.
He never stops. He never stops. From the minute he gets here till he leaves, he's mopping, he's wiping, he's dusting, he's cleaning, talking to the kids. When they come downstairs, and he takes the time to talk to them, you know, he's like a father to all of them. You know, he's not a custodian or a janitor. He's so much more than that.
I'd be here in August. It'll be 27 years.
But tell me, what are you going to miss about this place?
I think the people and the little guys mainly, but you know, the teachers have a real good rapport with them, and they're just a nice group to work with. And when you get up in the morning, it's not a hardship to come to work. So that's probably basically the main thing. Yeah.
You were telling me you have a few stories of this place from the ice storm and things like that.
Yeah.
What are some of your memories?
My biggest thing, of course, was the time we lost the boiler in 1985, just prior to Christmas vacation, and we had to send all the children and everybody to St. Francis Parish Hall and to the First Church. And we split them up because of the room, because then we had a full school back then too, with over 100 students. And it was kind of hectic running around and getting that boiler in, and we had to have all the water drained, and so the pipes wouldn't freeze. They did have some space heaters in here, but it was just a nightmare, and plus the old boilers had asbestos on them, and it just prolonged the whole process of getting the new one in place. So thankfully, after the new year, though, everything was back to normal.
This building has such some wonderful, wonderful physical aspects of it. I mean, the tall ceilings are just terrific. The arrangement of the building. The children feel very comfortable here. They know where their areas are, the coat room, where to take their stuff and put it, and then they just seem very comfortable. And I think that will be a big transition for them when they're in a new environment, a new school.
It's been worth it, keeping it going and trying to keep it looking nice and everything, but it's definitely a lot more difficult in some of these newer buildings where you just have cement block walls and things. There's a lot of different character with moldings and outcroppings and so forth and so on, so it is pretty much a high maintenance type of thing.
you could put day here because it won't fit up there.
Do I
Put
need
it
to
in the
make
middle.
an uppercase app or a lower?
Yep, that's a uppercase.
I think it's a little.
Parents are always willing to, okay, what are you doing now? How can I help out? We have a lot of parents that come into the classrooms to volunteer in the different classrooms. And it may be volunteering with actually teaching a group of students, like in literacy, or to listen to a child one-on-one read a story or work on writing a story, to working with some of the busy work that teachers have a lot of that there's never enough time to do.
Then my girl to it.
Beautiful, fabulous, super duper snack.
Do you guys like the Peirce School?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Do you think you're going to miss it next year?
Uh-huh.
What do you like about this place?
I like the teacher. I like the recess. I like math.
Now, what grade are you guys in?
First.
First.
Second. First.
So what do you like about school here?
Recess. Free choice. Over here. I'm eating fried chicken in like half an hour or something. Gamble. Sorry. Sorry. Wow. Hello.
Oh, that was, yeah, I think a half piece is pretty good. Oh, thank you. Great.
It's going to be tricky to get those blueberries out of here.
We have a weekly, kind of like a tradition that we've had for many years, and that's called the breakfast. And Tuesday mornings or Wednesday morning, depending on the year, we take turns preparing the breakfast and bring it in for the staff to enjoy. And that's our chance to share our personal excitements in our lives, as well as some of the things that we need to. Sometimes we talk shop, and because it's necessary, we need to touch base with each other about school things. But it's also a chance for us to really have an opportunity to share what's going on in our own personal lives.
That's why it's important to sign up for your own lunch. You sign up for your own lunch to bring it, because then, what would you like? Quickly. What do you want? You'll take a heel? Okay. You have jelly or fluff? I have fluff. Is fluff okay? Do you like fluff? No? Let me go get some jelly. She said yes. Okay. You want to check with the other ones?
There you go. Right toward your body. Perfect. Excellent. Now you get that straw in there.
Actually, every day in our lunchroom, we have parent volunteers that will come down and help out with the lunchroom procedures, just because it's hard with one teacher on duty. There are 50 students in the school, 50 students that are eating at the same time, and many of them are kindergartners. Now they have the routine down at the end of the year, but first half of the year, it was needed. It was very necessary to have extra hands. And so they, on a regular basis, we'd have some parents that show up on Mondays and some on Tuesdays and so forth that would help with the lunchroom. The cafeteria does have its limitations as far as the acoustics. We've tried putting up handmade quilts and other types of materials to try to absorb some of the noise in the room, but it tends to be pretty loud, and those little voices are just bouncing off the walls in every direction.
I have an announcement to make. You guys have been so good all year. You've helped me. You've said please and thank you. And I hope that everybody has a good summer, because everybody's going to get a sundae from me today.
And I was at that time going to have a little boy coming into my room. I knew he had a lot of anger. And at the time, I also had another little boy in my room who had a lot of anger. And of course, I would share a lot about my animals, because it was something that the children enjoyed and we could share. And he started about the last 2 months of school asking me if I could bring the dog so he could see the dog. And finally, I decided near the end of the year that I would bring the dog over one afternoon when no one was outside, just our class, and I'd just put the dog in the back of the car and just open up the hatch and let everybody have a look at Buster. And Buster actually didn't get out. He just sort of stood, and we visited with him and talked to him, and they reached up and petted him. And this little guy, when we got ready to shut the hatch, asked me if I could pick him up for one last look. And I started out by talking with my principal. I said, listen, is this just a wacky, crazy idea? But this little boy was so interested in the dog. And when I finally brought him, I just saw his body language change, just, the way he talked to the dog. Just, I'm thinking that this might actually be a really positive thing. And she said, absolutely. And she grabbed hold of it and she said, if a child is to build a relationship with a dog, then it's bound to transfer into other relationships. And, we all know that with an animal, you have to have that mutual respect and that mutual trust. And so we sent a letter out once school-wide, and it just fell into place. And Buster's been coming since. For those two children that I mentioned earlier, they certainly benefited from having the dog. He's a lot of fun. He'll come out at recess and play ball with the children in the snow. He loves the snow, and so they get a real kick out of that. And he's part of the community too, and I think he's added a lot. He's very special to the other children.
Our parents have been very active at Peirce School. For example, last year we had an opportunity, one parent coordinated the purchase of bark through the parent-teacher group, the PTG, and some other fundraising. And we had a special Saturday where parents, a lot of parents showed up, and their families. I mean, it wasn't just the parents, they brought the children. And we had about 30 rakes going, raking, hauling bark. One parent that lives just up the street brought his little garden tractor, and with the cart on the back of it, and so students and parents worked filling up the tractor and loading the tractor up and hauling it to all the different pieces of playground equipment. And then we worked for a good morning, I would say. It was pretty much a full half day, raking, moving the bark under the equipment, and making it so that it would be safe. We have a lot of parent support in this building. Parents are always willing to, okay, what are you doing now? How can I help out? We have a lot of parents that come into the classrooms to volunteer, so there's a lot of support in many ways.
I think you found some tiny stuff.
I got 2 pieces of wool.
Look at that, making some pioneer yarn. Pretty nice, huh? Look over here, look this way. There you go, you gotta watch what you're doing.
One of the neat things about having a small school is that sometimes we do units together as a whole school. And when we have those all-school units that we study together, we often will group the children. We'll mix the children all up and mix them all up and have them in multi-age groupings. And then they will go to different centers, different classrooms, sometimes the regular classroom, sometimes centers downstairs if we have extra support from parents or people in the community. And the children will rotate through these centers and have a chance to learn together. The kindergartners are learning with the second graders. In the past, when we had third grade here, we did the same thing. And it really gives them a chance to share that learning and talk about that learning, and have an opportunity to be a flexible learner, learning how to, I just don't learn with my regular classmates, but I have a chance to play and have fun and learn with other students in other classrooms too. That has been something that's been a lot of fun, and I think very important for the students.
Okay,
The Pioneer unit has been part of the second grade curriculum for 4 or 5 years, and we decided that since it's at the end of the year type of unit that we tend to put it at the end of the year because we like to do a simulation called the Apple Valley School. And it really helps the children to take on a role of a student 150 years ago and what it would be like. We group them into families, and they all have a new identity, and their ages range anywhere from 4 years old to 17 years old, and they just love it. They love pretending when they walk into this classroom, we're pretending they're walking into a one-room schoolhouse. And they quietly take their seats, they stand up to pledge the flag, they sit back down. When they're asked a question, they will stand up, push their chair in, and give an answer in a complete sentence. They just think it's really exciting. We also have, in order to add a little more fun to that, we have what we call fate cards, and they read a fate card, and they can earn points or subtract points depending on what the fate card says. Like if they were late to school because the horse got out and because they hadn't fixed the fence, then they lose points. So it's kind of it's a simulation, it's a game, but it's also a great learning opportunity for them to understand what the past was like.
I made it come out like you're getting in my mouth. I like spraying your hair. Bugs might. Can't wait to go to the park. Oh.
Great job. Okay. All right. Yep, I'm in charge. Okay.
I have a scratchy nose.
This is my floor.
Hey, I know. While we're waiting, let's practice our volunteer song. Are you ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's start again. Let's start again. M&M's. Boys, we're gonna practice our volunteer song while we're waiting. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. We love volunteers, yes indeed. It's our very classroom needs. Working on the busy box and field trips too. What do we need? Words? Yeah. We're still practicing. Working on the busy box and field trips too.
Okay, walk right ahead. It's a big 50-school group.
Park Day? Well, today is Park Day. And basically what we do is we walk down from Peirce School. Often the children will take chalk with them and kind of write little messages on the tar, on the sidewalks. They've always enjoyed doing that to each other, so that each classroom, as they're walking down to Park Day, they can read the little messages. Once we get down to the park, the big event is the going to the playground area and having a chance to just have some free play. And we have all of our students on the play area at the same time. The Park Day is somewhat organized, but yet it's also kind of free choice in a sense. We give them time to play in certain areas, and generally we go the last week of school, and it's a lot of fun.
Are you ready for the summer?
Yeah!
So this is a sad day, but it's also a happy day. It's sad because this is our last day. You are the last students at the Peirce School.
Yay!
And it's sad because we leave our small community and we won't be back here as students probably ever again. But you know we got a brand new school that you're gonna get to come into. We're gonna visit in August. We've got lots of fun stuff planned for you. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Your teachers are. A lot of people are excited about the new opportunities we're gonna have. We're never gonna forget our Peirce School though, are we? No. Very lucky to be part of this community.
So Get a lot of rest this summer, get a lot of fun in the sun, and we'll see you in just a few short weeks.
Is Buster coming? I've spoken to a few people in the community. My ideal picture of this building would be to have it be a museum. I thought it would be really great to have the Belfast Museum, the small building downtown, move into this building. And I thought it would be really great to have one of these classrooms totally restored back to what it originally looked like. And that would provide an opportunity for students in the district and even neighboring districts to come into the building and visit the classroom and see a piece of history that Belfast once had. I really hope that this building will be maintained by some type of organization, group, or city, or whatever, so that it can be still part of the community and will still have some type of service.
So does it feel kind of sad to be doing this for the last time?
In a way, it really does, yes. But I suppose, as they say, change is good. So time marches on.